Good evening. This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios in Kairaba Avenue. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. President Barrow, the Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, presided over the swearing-in of members of the new Gambia Armed Forces Council on Friday at State House. The National Human Rights Commission and partners on Friday commenced a three-day engagement with parliamentarians on the implementation of TRRC recommendations and government white paper. Now, 15 teachers were certified on Friday in information technology skills by Quest Institute of Technology, formerly Quantum Net Institute of Technology. Attended training course for journalists on covering National Assembly proceedings organized by the School of Journalism and Digital Media in collaboration with partners ended on Friday. The Gambia Armed Forces conducted a graduation ceremony on Friday for its personnel after completing 2 weeks training in armory management and storekeeping. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. Members of the new Gambia Armed Forces Council were sworn in on Friday at a ceremony at State House presided over by President Barrow, who doubles as the Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces. Aliou Cisse reports.
The new 7-member Gambia Armed Forces Council will be chaired by Badra A. Jove, the Gambia's Vice President. Other members are Sering Modou, Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Yakuba A. Drame, Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, Major General Mohamed O. Cham, Deputy Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, Brigadier General Turo Jaune, Commander of the Republican National Guard, Rohi Bitey Dabo, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, and retired Lieutenant Colonel Abdoulaye Kante, a civilian. The Council will be required, among other things, to advise the President in his role as Commander-in-Chief on matters relating to administration and operation of the armed forces. President Barrow described the occasion as an important step towards implementing the country's security sector reform program.
The selection of the membership was done in accordance with constitutional provision and was subjected to due scrutiny to ensure that the right choices were made. I hope with sincerity that all council members will measure up to the trust and confidence reposed in them. The selection exercise and constitutional framework were informed by the realization that my government inherited a security apparatus that needed comprehensive review and a major structural and operational reform. My appeal for support to address the situation was well received at both regional and international levels, leading to the development of a UN Peace Building Fund security sector reform project to support the reform process.
Badra Aliou Jove, the Vice President and Chair of the Council, and Sering Modou, Minister of Defense and a member of the Council, welcome their appointments to the Council and vow to fulfill their mandate in the interest of the country.
The providence of the future council members does not lie in the AK-47, but lies in strong policies and programs which we would support the government to execute. And in trying to support the government to execute those programs and policies for the socio-economic development of this country, we must endeavor to make this institution, the armed forces, efficient, effective, and highly functional and agile. In so doing, we are tasked with the responsibility of enhancing their professionalism and professionality as members who should defend the territorial integrity of this country.
The failure to functionalize the Council in the past resulted to poor governance with a steady decline in the overall efficiency and effectiveness of the armed forces. Revitalization of the Council will help the armed forces to regain its past glory.
As they assume these tasks, they will be expected to use their wealth of experience and professional background to improve the administration and governance of the armed forces, one of the most sensitive institutions with responsibility for defending the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
The National Human Rights Commission, in partnership with Women in Leadership and Liberation, will commence a 3-day engagement on Friday with parliamentarians on the implementation of TRRC recommendations and government white paper. Ansumana Esonyasi reports.
Setting up a robust transitional justice process for reforms that will usher in a democratic state that all Gambians will be proud of and ensure justice for victims of human rights violations was a key campaign agenda that propelled President Adama Barrow to power. And upon assuming office, his administration spearheaded a series of legislation including establishing commissions, including the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. After over 2 years probing into rights violations that occurred during ex-President Jammeh's 22 years reign, the Truth Commission handed over its findings and recommendations to government. In response, government issued a white paper on the 25th of May this year, officially committing to fully implement all recommendations except 2. And in a bid to galvanize Parliament's support to implore government to expedite the implementation of the recommendations, the National Human Rights Commission, in partnership with Women in Liberation and Leadership, is engaging National Assembly members. Emmanuel Daniel Diouf, chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, and Fatou Balde, executive director, say this engagement provides an invaluable opportunity to engage lawmakers on the importance of expediting the implementation process.
Apart from raising the awareness of National Assembly members of the recommendations and what the white paper says, but to also enhance the understanding of the National Assembly members on their role in the implementation of the recommendations.
Transitional justice provides us with an opportunity to address the wrongdoings of the past. It also helps us to rebuild our society after 22 years of dictatorship. As the lawmakers of this country, you play a vital role in writing this history.
Meanwhile, they commend government for having the political will to implement the Commission's recommendations. The Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Sidin Jai, and Hussein Tomasi, the Solicitor General, welcomed this engagement, while the Deputy Speaker reminded parliamentarians of the importance of their oversight function to this process. The Solicitor General says government has already initiated several programs, all geared towards implementing the recommendations in full.
Implementation of the TRRC recommendations is by no means a small feat. It is pivotal that we understand that this is a process that will take years to achieve within the tenets of democracy and rule of law. As such, effective parliamentary oversight is required throughout the implementation process.
We have been able, as a ministry, to complete a prosecution strategy which will serve as a blueprint for prosecutions emanating from the TRRC report.
On behalf of the victims, Aisha Jame of the Victims Center said implementing the recommendations will ensure attainment of what she described as the most important component of our transitional justice process, the Never Again mantra, and went on to make a series of requests, including the development of a solid roadmap for implementing the recommendations. At the end of its over 2-year investigations, the Truth Commission reported that 392 victims appeared before the Commission to give their accounts of the violations they endured, mostly inflicted by state agents. And with government publicly committing to ensure justice for these victims, calls have intensified for the speedy and full implementation of the recommendations. Ansumana Esonyasi for QTV News.
Now, 15 teachers were certified on Friday in information technology by Quest Institute of Technology, formerly QuantumNet Institute of Technology, RADA. The training was conducted in collaboration with the Q Group Foundation and the Gambia Teachers Union. Momodu Gajaga attended the graduation ceremony and files in this report.
Known for providing high-quality IT training, Quest Institute of Technology, formerly QuantumNet Institute of Technology, built the capacity of these teachers during 2 weeks intensive training with skills to enhance teaching and learning. Anna Seka Sen, the Managing Director of Quest Institute of Technology, talks about some of the trainings they offer.
As a training institution, We are committed to excellence and consistently striving to complement government's efforts through our quick impact courses like the one we are gathered here today. These courses are designed to quickly and efficiently respond to evolving needs of the modern work environment. We offer a variety of training programs, not only in IT, but also in business and human resources management, customer services, and marketing.
QIT has been offering training tailored to suit the IT needs of people in various sectors. Since 2004, thousands have graduated at the QIT, most of whom are working in higher institutions. Usman Kebe, board chairman of QIT, explains.
The main objective of QIT is to always provide the highest quality of training. And today we have demonstrated that and giving the opportunity to GTU to make sure that these teachers will be giving the best of training and be able to transfer this knowledge and this capacity to their various schools.
10 of the trainees being certified today were sponsored by the Q Group Foundation, which support in areas of health, education, youth empowerment, disaster victims, amongst others. Aissatou Jah, CEO of the Q Group Foundation, says they are willing to support such programs to boost sustainable development.
When we were approached by the QIT to inquire if we wanted to partner with them to offer training to teachers to enable them to use IT in improving the learning outcomes in the public schools, we were very, very excited about the idea. As we all know, information technology has become an integral part of the learning process and is used extensively to enrich and enhance the student learning experience.
2 of the participants said they had no previous IT knowledge. Now they say they are confident that what they've learned will enhance their teaching and learning programs.
We are proud that we can do many things ranging from understanding the basic file management, that's 1. 2, use Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Word Excel to prepare our classroom exam question.
We want to assure everyone that this training has come at a much better time, and whatever we have learned here will be will put into good use. Finally, I thank the Q Group Foundation, Gambia Teachers Union.
Pat Daniel Mendy, a senior programs officer and a representative of the Gambia Teachers Union, thanked the QIT and the Q Group Foundation for conducting, sponsoring, and supporting the training. Participants in the training were presented with certificates at the closing ceremony. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Thumbs up to the Q Group Foundation. We still believe in the slogan Sunyu Bus. Now, we'll go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local news stories. Do stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to US Embassy Gambia Today, a podcast brought to you by US Embassy Banjul. This weekly podcast will feature leaders and our partners in the Gambia. Join us every Wednesday as we broadcast these informative episodes from our American Corner studio at Africell in Bundung. We are on Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcast. You can also follow the program on our Facebook and Twitter pages at US Embassy Banjul. US Embassy Gambia Today, bringing the Gambia and the United States closer.
Wait, LG, thank you. Yup. Thanks to LG ThinQ, I can operate and get cycle updates from my AIDD front-load washing machine without even stepping foot in the laundry room. I can be busy with rehearsals on a conference call and still do my laundry, or watching series glued to my couch and too lazy to get up. My life made easy with LG. Thank you.
COVID-19 is real. Get vaccinated against COVID-19. The vaccine is safe and effective. The vaccine is readily available in any health facility, free of charge. Currently, there are 3 different types of vaccines, namely Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Sinopharm. Hand washing with soap, when done correctly, is critical in the fight against COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently, including every time you enter the home or office. Avoid shaking hands with other people. After you cough or sneeze, and before you eat, use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand rub. Clean frequently touched surfaces, frequently with chlorine or alcohol solution. Remember, no one is safe until we are all safe. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the Gambia Country Coordinating Mechanism with funding from the Global Fund to fight AIDS, TB and malaria. For more information, please call our toll-free number 1025.
Welcome back. Proceedings in the National Assembly have an impact on the lives of citizens who deserve to be accurately informed of proceedings and debates in the chamber. A 10-day training course for journalists on covering National Assembly proceedings organized by the School of Journalism and Digital Media in collaboration with the Freedom House and the Gambia Press Union ended on Friday. Ajibintu Drama reports.
The training involved 20 journalists from media outlets representing the print and electronic media. The 10-day intensive training was characterized by theory and practical exercises to equip the participants with the critical skills required to report on proceedings of the National Assembly. Encouraging the participants to be critical in their reporting, Dr. Wumi Moraleke Adekule, Dean of the School of Journalism and Digital Media, says the training was very productive and hopes participants are now fully equipped to use the knowledge gained.
When you are covering the parliament, you must know what should be the function of the parliament. If you don't know what is supposed to be, if there is a deviation, you'll not be able to identify that deviation. So I'm sure by now you are fully equipped, to recognize how the parliament should operate and what should be the overall goal of governance, which is the ultimate welfare of the people.
Dr. Adekunle commended the participants for their cooperation and efforts and the partners and trainers for delivering the training. Judy Ode, representative from the Freedom House, had this to say.
You have a duty to be accurate and impartial in your reporting. You should also have the willingness to retract, correct, implicitly or explicitly apologize for misstatements. Crucially, in your writing, be calm and declarative. I conclude by encouraging you, the students, to put the valuable knowledge attained from the course to good use.
Mohamed Esba, president of the Gambia Press Union, underscored the significance of the training and implored the participants to hold officials accountable and to be critical.
I believe the media should set the agenda, not just say reporting he said, she said, she added, she noted. No, we have to go beyond that. For instance, the audit report, it goes to the parliament. For instance, why do we have backlog of reports? What is happening? Is parliament doing its function as expected? Why do we have hanging bills, like, for instance, the anti-corruption bill? Why is it hanging and the media is not saying anything about it? Why is it that we have pending media law reforms? What is the, what is the role of the parliament in ensuring that we have a progressive constitution?
Emil Toure, executive director of the Media Council, pleads with Freedom House to strengthen the partnership with such training and urge participants to acquire a copy of the nation's constitution and the standing orders of the National Assembly, as this sets out how business is conducted at the National Assembly. QTV's Lolly M. Kamara, a participant, gave the vote of thanks on behalf of the participants, expressing gratitude to the facilitators for giving them the chance to enhance their knowledge.
It is upon us to deliver as expected. We have been challenged by our authorities, that's the president and the executive director from the Media Council. And we will endeavor to make sure we put into practice what we have learned, inshallah.
Providing context and analysis is essential in parliamentary reporting for journalists, especially the arguments and debates amongst other matters. Certificates were awarded to the participants at the end of the ceremony. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Well, to all journalists, make sure we get the two sides of the story all the time. Now, the Gambia Armed Forces, in collaboration with the Mine Advisory Group, conducted a graduation ceremony on Friday for its personnel who had completed 2 weeks training in armory management and storekeeping. Omar P. Jallo attended the event and files in this report.
The 2-week course has equipped the participants with the skills in storage of arms and ammunition, including weapons safety, accountability, weapons maintenance, fire hazards, firefighting and access control. The armory management course has also prepared the participants in skills such as transportation of weapon, UN classification of ammunition, armory risk assessment, armory construction and refurbishment. The chief instructor at the Gambia Armed Forces Training School, Captain Abdullah Seka, said arms and ammunition are hazardous in nature. Therefore, proper knowledge and skills are required for the safety of those handling them and those in proximity to them.
Today's threats are always changing and always evolving. Military training must therefore change as well. It must continually be forward-thinking, innovative, and aggressive, both in understanding how these threats are evolving and in adopting training to meet the challenges. Therefore, monitoring the developments in warfighting, both in tactics, techniques, and procedures, is paramount.
Jami Majid, the course instructor, commended the graduates for their discipline, dedication, and commitment during the training, and encouraged them to utilize the knowledge gained in their respective units.
One thing that we all have to remember is that this training is the first line of defense, okay? As a storekeeper, as a manager, the job is the first line of defense. Without the procedures and the protocols in place, it will allow easy access to these weapons and ammunition, which could be used to destabilize the security situation within the Gambia.
Representing the Chief of Defense Staff, the Director of Training and Doctrine, Lieutenant Colonel Omar B. Bojang, congratulated the graduates and reminded them that their successful graduation goes with additional responsibilities and employed them to live up to expectations and share the knowledge gained with their comrades.
Our soldiers, it is our responsibility to safely use our weapons amongst our comrades and to effectively use it against the enemy. This cannot be done without purposeful and realistic training programs. And training programs like this one is very important to the Gambia Armed Forces. The ways and means our arms are stored and managed goes a long way to determine and protect the territorial integrity of our country.
Delivering the vote of thanks on behalf of the graduates, Lance Corporal Alinjai expressed delight and appreciation to the command of the Gambia Armed Forces for the trust and confidence bestowed in them to be chosen for this important training, and gave an assurance that they will judiciously utilize the knowledge and skills in their daily operations.
During this training, we learned a wide range of areas, including weapon safety and handling, small arms identification, and arms store management skills. Sir, I would like to assure you that the knowledge gained will be utilized as expected.
Participants were awarded certificates, and the ceremony also witnessed a demonstration of the skills learned during the training. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Well, viewers, before we end this bulletin, here is a recap of the headlines. President Barrow, the Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, on Friday presided over the swearing-in of members of the new Gambia Armed Forces Council at the State House. The National Human Rights Commission and partners commenced a 3-day engagement on Friday with parliamentarians on the implementation of TRRC recommendations and government white paper. Well, 15 teachers were certified on Friday in information technology skills by Quest Institute of Technology, formerly Quantum Net Institute of Technology. A 10-day training course for journalism covering National Assembly proceedings organized by the School of Journalism and Digital Media in collaboration with partners ended on Friday. The Gambia Armed Forces on Friday conducted a graduation ceremony for its personnel after completing 2 weeks training in armory management and storekeeping. That's all we have for you in this edition. Thank you very much for watching this edition. Join us tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.